Hey everyone, it's Melinda with Tailored and Teal, and welcome to the ThredUp update video. If you watched the video back in January or February, I can't actually remember the date that I published it, you would have seen everything that I was sending to ThredUp. This was all super old inventory from 2019. I was tired of looking at it. I wanted it gone, and my next choice was going to be donating it or going to Plato's Closet, which I really didn't want to go those routes. So I tried this instead. Spoiler alert, it did not go well and might have been the biggest mistake of my reselling career. But we're going to get into all of that, so don't you worry. If you haven't seen the video showing all of the items that I sent to ThredUp, I will link it up here and also in the description below so that you can go check it out to see exactly what I sent in. Everything I sent in was in good quality, pre-owned. Some of it was new with tags, possibly. I can't exactly remember. It's been so long ago. So a little bit of data for you. I sent in 3 ThredUp boxes. At the time, they were doing 50% off of the price to send in the cleanup bag or box. And at the time that I sent it in, it was $7.49. I dropped off the 4 boxes on January 14th of 2026. They received the boxes on January 20th, 2026. The original date that they said they were going to process it was February 16th, but 2 out of the 3 boxes were processed on February 4th. So 2 weeks ahead of what they said. And then the 3rd box was processed on 2/5, so the very next day. I was very happy with how quick they did process everything and how fast they got everything listed. So let's go box by box. So the first box included 35 items. 7 items they did not take at all. They didn't photograph, they didn't list, they just donated them responsibly. These included a Gap purple track jacket, an heirloom tank top, a pair of J. Crew factory pants, a Liz Claiborne item, a Lucky Brand item, a Z by Zella item, and an ANA, a New Approach item. So those items were automatically recycled. There were only 2 items that sold in this box. The first was a Harley Davidson 3/4 length sleeve button down shirt. The shirt sold for $34.74. It says buyer discount 50%, which I'm assuming means that it was 50% off when the buyer purchased it. Besides the fact that I could adjust the price as needed, I don't think that I had an opportunity to say whether I wanted it to be included in sales or not. I'm not exactly sure because I think I might be getting it confused with the ThredUp direct listings that I have access to. So I apologize for that. This was so long ago that I sent these in that I don't remember. And the earnings rate was 22.4%, giving me a total profit of $3.90. The second item that sold was a Free People beach casual dress. This sold for $22.74. Again, a buyer discount was 50% off. Earnings rate for Free People Beach was 16.4%, and my earnings was $1.87. 26 items expired, meaning that they did not sell and that they were recycled responsibly afterwards because I was not paying $5.99 per item to receive them back. That's just crazy in my opinion, at least for these types of items. If it was higher end items, I could completely understand, but these are not. So the 26 items that expired were a pair of Rag & Bone jeans, a pair of IRO jeans, a J. Crew pullover sweater, a We the Free denim skirt, Isaac Mizrahi for Target jacket, Tahari by ASL sleeveless top, a linen soft surroundings button-up shirt, did not sell, a Dainty Hooligan casual dress, a New with Tags Guess sleeveless cropped blouse, a New with Tags Fever 3/4 sleeve blouse, a YMI swimsuit top, a Nanette Lepore linen blend cocktail dress, a LuLaRoe casual dress, a Chico's 3/4 sleeve blouse, a Zara basic long sleeve blouse in a leopard print, New Directions New with Tags short sleeve t-shirt, a pair of Gap pants, a Elsie Lauren Conrad blouse, a Vera Moda casual skirt, a Topshop cocktail dress, an UMG jacket, a Lucky Brand dress, a Land's End jacket, a Joie skirt, Romeo and Juliet blouse, and an Oleg Cassini casual dress. So if you did the math, I didn't earn very much. So my total profit for those two items was $5.77. But if you remember the cost of $7.49 to send the bag in to get processed, they didn't take any money away from my $5.77. So I didn't have to pay the $7.49. I didn't have to pay the difference. They never charged my card. Maybe they had pity on me because my items were crap and didn't bring in any money. I'm not really sure. I tried to look for more information to see if you didn't reach a certain threshold, if they would charge you at all, but I'm not exactly sure and I couldn't find an answer. So technically my earnings for the two items that sold was $5.77. Moving on to box number 2, where there were 23 items. They did not take 4 items to begin with, so they didn't list them, they didn't photograph them, and they were an Ann Taylor loft item, a beach lunch lounge item, and 2 LuLaRoe items. I believe those were both new with tags. It's interesting that one box took a LuLaRoe dress that didn't have tags, but yet this box they had new with tags and they didn't take them. 15 items expired, meaning that they did not sell. They were an Adrienne Vittadini cocktail dress, a halogen skirt, a She and Sky kimono, a J. Jill blouse, Luxie yoga pants, J. Crew short sleeve top, a Trina Turk formal skirt, a Cabby jacket, a Carlisle casual skirt, Simply Vera Vera Wang casual pants, Simply Vera Vera Wang long sleeve blouse, a Cynthia Steff sleeveless blouse, an Ann Taylor loft pullover sweater, a tribal 3/4 sleeve t-shirt, wasn't a t-shirt, it was like a mesh sweater, and Clue and Willoughby long sleeve top. So this box had 4 items that sold. First was a Material Girl cocktail dress. This was new with tags. It was $22.74 that the buyer paid. My earnings rate was 16.4%, and my earnings was $3.73 on that dress. Next is a Lane Bryant cable knit pullover sweater. It sold for $19.74. Again, the buyer discount was 60% off. My earnings rate was 14.8%, making me $1.17. Then we have a Jane and Delancey thermal shirt. This sold for $9.74. A buyer discount was 25%. Earnings rate was 7.3%, giving me a profit of 54 cents. And lastly was a Lou and Gray pullover sweater. It sold for $17.74. Buyer discount was 55%. Earnings rate was 13.3%, giving me a profit of $1.07. So if you did the math on this one, those 4 items that sold totaled $6.51. Again, because there was a service fee of $7.49. They didn't charge me the difference and they didn't charge me the $7.49. So I technically made a profit of $6.51 on that box. And then lastly, the third box had 11 items in there. 1 wasn't listed or photographed or anything. It was a Lush item. There were 5 items that expired, so they did not sell. It was a Donna Morgan cocktail dress, a W5 pullover sweater, a Chico's pullover sweater, a Gap casual skirt, and Cole Haan ankle boots, which I am really not sure why those ankle boots did not sell. I even lowered the price down pretty low and nothing. We did have 5 items that sold from this box. The first was a pair of BCBG Max Azria dress pants. These were new with tags. They sold for $28.74. A buyer discount was 50%. Earnings rate was 19.4%, giving me a profit of $2.79. Next, we have an Ann Taylor Loft coat. They said it was a cardigan. It was more like a shacket, if anything. It sold for $20.74. Buyer discount was 50%. Earnings rate was 15.4%, giving me a profit of $1.60. Next was a pair of Honey Punch denim shorts. These were new with tags. They sold for $14.74. No discount for the buyer. My earnings rate was 11.1%, giving me a profit of $1.64. Then we had a pair of Ray snakeskin flats that laced up around your leg. They sold for $44.74. That was a big surprise because I couldn't get these things to sell at all for me. Buyer discount was 50% off. My earnings rate was 27.4%. My total earnings was $6.13. And the last thing was a pair of bamboo ankle boots. They sold for $19.74. The buyer discount was 50%. Earnings rate was 14.8%, giving me a total profit of $1.47 for that pair of shoes. I earned a total of $13.63 from those 5 items that sold. They did charge me the $7.49 service fee. So technically, I only made $6.14 off of those 5 items. Now, because I didn't get any of these items back, I technically lost a lot of money. I sent in a total of 69 items. 6 items were free to me, so they were either out of my own closet or they were from a friend or a family member. So I sent in 63 items that were from my inventory that I sourced specifically for reselling or got in a mystery box. $347.13 of inventory was sent. I'm saying my profit was only $6.14 because that is the amount that actually was entered into my ThredUp balance. So for the other 2, yes, I earned $5.77, but if you look, it says my total earnings were 0 because I guess I didn't make enough for them to charge me. So I'm saying that my profit that went into my ThredUp balance was $6.14, giving me a profit of negative $340.99. I am taking a loss in my inventory for this. I don't know what that's going to do in terms of taxes next year, but I definitely would not recommend doing this with your old inventory. If it's old, it's probably old for a reason. You should probably just take it to a Plato's Closet, sell it in a yard sale, or just donate it because this was not worth my time, my energy, and obviously it made me no money whatsoever. So take this with a grain of salt. I'm sure that there are plenty of other people out there that are very successful in sending things to ThredUp. I'm sure if you're sending higher end items, they might do a little bit better, but for me, this was a failed experiment and I will not be doing it again. So sorry this video wasn't happier, but as you know on my channel, I am 100% real. I give you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and this was the ugly part of my reselling business. So I truly appreciate all of you watching and going along on this journey with me, but I will definitely not be doing it again. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye!